Hey there, Joseph Spada here, and in this video, I am going to go over the entire workshop as a recap, and we are going to focus on the most important takeaways, and I hope that's helpful to you. Now, we remember about selling emotional versus logical. The logical meaning shell needs like surface understanding for the brain versus emotional. So examples of some of the logical things are meds, ADLs, meals, I'm an RN, I'm a CNA, etc. Now, again, they may need to hear those things, and probably they do need to hear those things, but don't stop there. Make sure you carry through and connect the dots to the emotional side of things, to their heart. So you speak to their heart, because that's how the decisions ultimately are made. So these are things like to belong, to feel loved, to be accepted for who you are, to have some purpose and meaning in your life, even if you're disabled. And then sometimes say, well, my mom couldn't bake. And I said, well, yeah, a lot of people are disabled enough that they are not able to, crack an egg or mix the dough. But many times, and I don't know if this is true for your parent, but many times they just enjoy being part of the circle and just observe, and that can cause a lot of joy and enjoyment for them to just simply be there and be part of the group. That's the belonging. I mean, that's belonging, touch, and love. These are fundamental human needs. If you don't have those, you either grow up with cretinism, and in some cases you can die without that. So critical needs: to be accepted, to have companionship, safety, those kind of things. Okay, so always aim to connect the dots. All right, talking about price. Always build value before you dish out a number. And there's many ways to do that, but the best way is something I mentioned a little previously in our recording here, is to really listen closely and carefully to their needs, to record them down, and so that at the end you say, all right, so here is everything that I've taken notes from, that I'm taking away from our conversation so far. So let me recap what I understand, and I'll share also what we might be able to do for you. So now you recap the needs: frequent falls, a problem with the pharmacy, challenge with hospice, having to move, the administrator not being responsive, too many caregivers coming and going. Whatever these are, just kind of go down the list one by one and just very quickly say, okay, well, our care plan is going to include something to address this. For the care programs, we're going to do that. She'll really benefit from the fall prevention, which, as I may have explained already, is going to be really, really comprehensive. We look at uh, cognitive status, impulsivity, type of behavior, the kind of communications that gets through to them versus doesn't get through to them, and we'll figure out the best thing there. Then we move on to physically. We're going to build strength. We're going to ensure that whatever devices they're using is the most appropriate and that they have enough practice to use that. So we're going to do all of those things. And then the last section of our plan here is going to have to do with anticipating needs, which means we'll make sure that they are toileted on a regular basis so that they don't become impulsive because they have to void their bladder. And last but not least, we use state-of-the-art monitoring equipment so that whenever she's on the move or tries to get up or wants to do something like that, we will be immediately alerted. Now, this does not make a bunch of beeping noise inside the room. It doesn't drive everybody crazy, but we have a pager, so we can hear those things immediately. So when we put all of this together, becomes very, very comprehensive, and that's really going to make a difference for your mom. She really needs that. But so you're going to go down like that, and then you're going to say, so based on all of this, it's going to be between 8,000 and 9,500. So give them a narrow range and say, when I see your loved one, then I'll be able to, ascertain all those things and make sure she's not underfunded, but also not overcharged. She's going to be priced just right for what she needs. That's when you give that range. Okay, then you can come back and you say, okay, well, it's going to be 8,800 or 9,200. So you come lower than what you even quoted. So that's the best thing. Don't say we charge between 5,000 and 13,000, guys. That is like the worst price quote you can ever give somebody, because they might be able to afford 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8. But then if you raise them to 13, they're going to like, well, we can't stay there at 13K. We can't afford that. So it's not effective. Okay. And then offer to clarify the final quote after you see them. So, again, you can say, well, listen, it just takes 30 minutes. There's really no charge. I'll be able to confirm what they need. I can give you an accurate quote. Then you'll have all the information you need to decide. Okay. Once you made your final decision, you might want to give a deposit so we actually reserve the room for you. Otherwise, I may have to continue showing it. And at the pace things are going now, it might be gone, by the end of the week. You never know. But anyway, at the end of that process here, you can decide, quick and easy, doesn't cost you anything. I only need a half an hour. Okay, then I'll send you the paperwork by email in case you have any questions. And that's it. That's as simple as that. Right? But again, the key point here is build value first, match their problem to your solutions. And then, because now what you're doing is you're building a list of all the things you're offering to solve all these issues. So they're getting this and this care and that care and this bit in the care plan and the fall prevention and the specific medication thing and all these other things. Right. And you are doing all that. That's a lot of work that you're doing. Then you quote them and it's no effort on their part. Everything's handled. All right. Lastly, let's finish with the psychological triggers. Remember, there is a bunch of them here. Scarcity, urgency, competition, opportunity, incentives, and risk reversal. The thing is, it's better to focus on understanding the key idea in each one of them and then stack them, because there is a little bit of what you said that would point to scarcity and another one that might point to urgency. So when you stack these in a way that you're sharing information, they become more and more compelling, right? So scarcity is there's not enough of. You have one room and you have 2 people visiting that room today. In fact, we talked about booking tours back to back if you can, if you have that opportunity, absolutely doing. But the other part of scarcity is you have this one room and someone else is coming to see it tomorrow morning. That's another part of scarcity. Urgency means anything that can compel them to make a decision more quickly. For example, somebody else has already come and they already said they're interested. As a matter of fact, I have to go see them Saturday morning. But after speaking to you and getting to know your mom based on what you said, it sounds like your mom would be a really wonderful fit. So that creates some kind of urgency. Because if you decide to do that, it seems like your mom would just really fit wonderfully well. And now there's a bit of urgency because they know you're about to go see somebody else. So that's another way to add urgency. Another way to add urgency is, maybe this month you have some special deal going on. Maybe you offer free incontinence supplies for 90 days, or you have a $2,500 discount for a self-referred an individual. And I put that on Google Ads, but that campaign, that offer actually ends in 3 days from now. And so, if you want to take advantage of it, that might be a great opportunity because all of the incontinence supplies are going to be paid for you for the next 90 days, maybe even 6 months. It doesn't matter. It's not that expensive to you, but that creates urgency for them. Competition and scarcity is about the same. And the competition is more than one person wants the same thing. I remember one time I was at Costco and they don't, my size is like exactly 32 by 32. And they don't always have that size. I remember there was a pair of pants I really liked. There's only one that had 32 by 32. So I was looking at them and I just wasn't totally convinced. And so I put them on top of the pile. And then I kept on walking and I was looking at other clothing items. But I just, to the corner of my eye, this other guy went there and picked up those pants and started looking at them. And I was like, oh my God, no, don't buy them. I want them. That's the only pair that will fit me. All of a sudden, I had this competition. I had to have those pants. Of course, he put them down. I picked them up immediately and I bought them. That was kind of a silly, but that gives you an idea of the point here of this particular psychological trigger. It really got activated when I saw somebody else looking at the same pair of pants that I was interested in, but not sold 100%. All of a sudden, I'm buying it now, because otherwise they're going to be gone. Um, Opportunity, kind of the same idea. I already told you. You have an incentive, you have a discount, you have a self-referred discount. You can have a number of different things that create opportunity. Um, the opportunity to be with this particular crew of residents, and there is only one vacancy, and your mom would be such an amazing fit. So that's an opportunity to be here and benefit from that. Risk reversal, I explained it to you earlier. Essentially, if you can create any version of a situation where you take the risk and they take no risk, that is an extremely powerful uh, psychological trigger. One of the great marketer mentor of mine was working with a car dealership. One of the programs they came up with is that if somebody was interested in this very nice car, and this was back in a day where sales were harder and everything was more relaxed, what they would do, the car dealership was saying, listen, I just filled out the tank for this car to the brim, and here is the key. I'm going to give you the key. I want you to take your wife, partner, take them out to a restaurant tonight in this car. Here's the key, and here's a $50 voucher for dinner at McMinimans. And then you come back here Sunday night at 5 p.m. If you want to keep the car, you can keep it. If you decide you don't like the car, you can just give me the key back. I'll take the car. Sign here, give me a copy of insurance, copy of your driver's license. That's it. You're all done. You can go take the car, get your wife out to dinner in the car, have a good time, enjoy the car, and boom. I mean, their sales exploded by doing a program like that, right? Complete risk reversal. Create appeal, urgency, and value intentionally. Limited room exposure. Yeah, this is important if you have a lot of vacancies or if you're new. Don't show all the rooms, don't give all the choices. Furnish 2 or 3 rooms and then show the nicest one and the smallest one and maybe one in the middle. The other ones, not available. Somebody's interested. I'm finishing the remodel. This one's going to be a premium room, it's not available yet. I don't know. Make up some story, but don't show all of them. Otherwise, there is no urgency. They're going to say, well, I can come back in 2 months from now. I'm sure there'll still be a vacancy here. You got to create urgency. If you don't create urgency, it's going to be a tough sell. I remember in all the new homes, my thing was, well, your opportunity right now, first of all, if you move in now, you're going to be the only resident here. So you're essentially going to pay you're going to pay for your normal budget here, but you're going to receive triple the value because your parent is going to get one-on-one care. Your mom is going to get absolutely a lot of personal attention here. So that might be one idea. Another idea might be, well, those rooms are going to fill and then that's it. It's over. You can only be on our wait list after that. So it might be 6 months, 8 months, 12 months before I have another opening afterwards. But I think the fact that you can say they're going to get one-on-one care, I mean, it's that much better for her, to be the first one. Because also, if your mom comes in and I'm getting to know her, I'm going to make sure the other people I admit are very, very highly compatible with your loved one. So that will be one of the benefits, is that all the other people coming in are going to be quite compatible, right? So make it palatable, and make it an opportunity, not like, I'm brand new, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't have a lot of experience. Just forget that and turn your mindset into, this is a really golden opportunity for them to get one-on-one care. Back-to-back tours is possible. Complementary services bundled. I mean, we do a ton of that, frankly. I just offer as many freebies as possible because that's what builds value. Value is when you feel as though you got a lot more than what you paid for. So you have a list of 10 things you're buying, but the first 4 have a price to it, and then the other 6 out of 10, no charge, no charge, no charge. So when they look at this list, they're going to feel like they're getting far more than what they're paying for. Okay. Now, you just have to build your prices to account for those things. And the second part of that coin here is that you can offer things that are valuable to them, but not too expensive to you. For example, if you are a nurse, you could offer nurse delegation. You could offer assessment updates at no charge. You can offer all kinds of stuff. You know, we offer haircut once a month. If you want more than that, you are charged for the other ones. But the once a month, we pay for it, right? On and on. Diapers, incontinence supplies, all inclusive. At that, you don't have to pay any extra. So these things are cheap for us to do, but they're very valuable to them. And that builds a lot of value. All right. The 30-day, back on the charges there. Make sure you make that clear on your invoice and on your quote as well. Okay. You're going to get this, 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 and all these items have no charge, no charge, no charge, or complimentary or whatever. Internet access, complimentary, a television channel, premium TV lineup channels or channels lineup, no charge included. Clearly people see, they know it's costing you something, but there's no charge to them. So think about as much, toothpaste, toothbrush, all the toiletries, complimentary, no charge. That includes shampoo, toothpaste, toothbrush, mouth rinse, baby wipes, latex gloves. We pay for all of that. Put stuff like that. That builds tremendous value. And then on the invoice at the end of the month, once they have moved in, when you send them an invoice, make sure you list all those things they got and the price that it would normally cost, and then put no charge on the total line. That builds a lot of value. And again, we talked about risk reversal or 30-day guarantee option. That's pretty much kind of hand in hand, okay? So one or the other. You have 30 days, just give us 30 days notice and you're out of here. Or if you don't like it, because I was pretty confident you would like it, if you by any chance don't like it, we can split that 50-50. So instead of paying your full 10K, you pay 5K, I'll cover the other 5K. Wow, that's incredible offer. Okay. All right, financial integration, and let's call it good. Demand exists. Remember, the numbers are there. We focused on numbers for dementia, but they go beyond that, and the numbers are expected to continue. The gap between the people who need care and who are ill versus those facilities available for them, the gap is big and it continues to grow. Marketing is a system. Consistency and discipline wins. You don't have to run a 500-meter sprint. You can just do a nice jog, and every day you do a little something. Consistency will make the difference. So build your foundation first. Make sure your materials, flyers, business card, care programs, that is arguably the most difficult and the most time consuming. But once you have that done, now you're going to have a nice lineup of materials, brochure, care programs you can offer, listings on many websites, listings on Google, business listing there. You're going to have a website of your own that is attractive, appealing, speaks to emotion, has nice pictures, and a really warm, caring, compelling about us page. Then you're going to be generating leads from that and from doing advertising, from that exposure you're creating, which is, again, that section, generating lead. The more exposure you have, the better, the more leads you will generate. So focus on the list. That's number one. Number two, your website and the Google listing is going to be really, really important. And then just continue to put yourself in more and more places. Use the same business name, the same logo. People recognize it over time, and that will build your exposure and visibility. Learn to conduct good tours. Practice them. And, it may feel a little rough in the beginning to think about a structure and to actually implement the structure. But once you do it once, you're going to go, okay, that was interesting. You're going to do it a second time, and you're going to try to go along the same lines. And then you're going to quickly see the kind of things you said that were really effective and the kind of things you said that didn't help at all. And that's why you can make it better over time, because you can tweak, because you have a system, because you're monitoring the result of that system. So it will be better and better with more practice and more time. And your staff will become better at it too. Okay? Remember that emotions closed. So features tell the brain, benefits sell. That's the heart. And again, consistency wins. All right, folks. I hope this has been helpful. I think it was a little longer than what I expected, but anyway, I hope you get a lot out of it. This is essentially the whole day's workshop, 8 hours down to an hour and a half. So anyway, I hope it helps you. You have a fabulous day. Reach out anytime, and best wishes for success. Together in caring excellence. This is Joseph. Take care.